Have you ever walked past a construction site, watched someone repair power lines, or seen a warehouse worker move in boxers and thought that looks like a pretty straightforward job? Most of us have. We see people doing these jobs every single day, and they seem routine, almost ordinary. But what if I told you that some of the most dangerous moments at work happen in jobs that appear completely safe? Today, we're going to explore a real workplace scenario that changed someone's life in just 1 second, and the lessons we can all learn from it. The setup. Just another day, meet David, a warehouse logistics coordinator with 8 years of experience. David wasn't new to his job. He had completed all his safety training, knew the protocols, and had never had a single incident on his record. His job involved managing inventory, coordinating shipments, and occasionally operating a forklift to move pallets around the warehouse floor. On this particular Tuesday morning, everything seemed normal. The weather was clear, the equipment had been inspected, and the team had their usual safety briefing. David had done this exact task hundreds of times before, moving a pallet of boxed goods from the loading dock to the storage area. It was so routine that he could practically do it with his eyes closed. But that's exactly where the danger was hiding, in the comfort of routine. The critical moment, David climbed onto the forklift, started the engine, and began lifting the pallet. The load was well within the weight limits, properly stacked and secured with shrink wrap. Everything looked perfect. As he started to drive across the warehouse floor, he noticed his supervisor waving at him from across the room, asking about a delivery schedule. For just 1 second, David turned his head to respond. 1 second. In that brief moment, his attention shifted from the path ahead to his supervisor. He didn't see the small oil spill on the floor, just a few drops that had leaked from a machine earlier that morning. The forklift's wheel hit the slick spot, and the vehicle began to slide sideways. David's training kicked in immediately. He didn't panic or overcorrect. He followed protocol, reducing speed and attempting to stabilize the machine. But the momentum had already shifted. The pallet swayed. The forklift's balance was compromised, and within seconds, the situation had escalated from routine to critical. Fortunately, David's safety training made the difference. He had his seatbelt on, maintained his grip on the controls, and avoided making sudden movements that could have made things worse. The forklift came to a stop. The pallet remained secured, and no one was injured. But it was a close call, closer than anyone wanted to admit. What made this job look safe? Let's break down why this situation seemed so safe on the surface. David was experienced. The equipment was maintained. Safety protocols were in place. And the task itself was routine. These are all factors that typically contribute to a safe working environment. So, what went wrong? The answer lies in something safety experts call complacency through familiarity. When we perform the same task repeatedly without incident, our brains naturally begin to treat it as low risk. We become confident, even comfortable. Our attention can wander because we feel we've mastered the task. This psychological phenomenon is one of the leading contributors to workplace incidents across all industries. David's job looked safe because it had been safe for 8 years. But safety isn't a permanent state. It's a continuous practice that requires constant attention, especially when things feel routine. The hidden risks in safe jobs. What makes this story so important is that it highlights risks that exist in virtually every workplace, even those that seem completely secure. Let's explore some of these hidden dangers. Environmental factors can change in an instant. A clean floor becomes slippery. A clear pathway becomes obstructed. Weather conditions shift. These changes might seem minor, but they can have major consequences when combined with other factors. Divided attention is a critical risk factor. In our modern workplaces, We're constantly multitasking, communicating with team members, checking devices, and processing information. Each time our attention splits, even for a moment, we create a window of vulnerability. Equipment familiarity can be a double-edged sword. While experience is valuable, it can also lead to autopilot behavior where we stop actively engaging with the task at hand. We assume we know what will happen next, and that assumption can be dangerous. Chimi pressure, even subtle pressure, influences our decisions. When we feel rushed or when there's an expectation to maintain productivity, we might skip small safety checks or take minor shortcuts that accumulate into significant risks. The ripple effect. Here's something many people don't consider. Workplace incidents don't just affect the individual involved. When David's forklift began to slide, several other workers were in the vicinity. If the situation had escalated, multiple people could have been affected. Beyond physical safety, there are emotional and psychological impacts on coworkers who witness close calls, financial impacts on the company, and broader effects on workplace culture and morale. 1 second of divided attention had the potential to create consequences that would ripple through the entire organization and affect people's lives in ways that extend far beyond the workplace. Prevention. Lessons we can all apply. So what can we learn from David's experience? How do we prevent these 1-second moments from becoming life-changing incidents? Maintain active awareness, even in routine tasks. Especially in routine tasks, consciously engage with what you're doing. Make a habit of scanning your environment, identifying potential hazards, and staying mentally present. Embrace the pause. Before starting any task, take a moment to assess. Look at your surroundings, check your equipment, and mentally prepare. This brief pause can prevent hours, days, or years of consequences. Respect the small things. That minor oil spill, that slightly worn equipment part, that moment of distraction, these aren't trivial. They're signals that require attention. Report hazards immediately, no matter how minor they seem. Never skip safety protocols. It's tempting to think, I've done this 1,000 times. I don't need to check that again. But protocols exist for a reason, and they're especially important when tasks feel routine. Communicate clearly. If you need to speak with a coworker who's operating equipment or performing a task requiring concentration, wait until they're in a safe position. David's supervisor didn't intend to create a distraction, but the timing mattered. Stay educated. Safety training isn't just a box to check. It's life-saving information. Engage with it, practice it, and take it seriously every single time. David's story ended without serious consequences, but it serves as a powerful reminder. The jobs that look safest are often where we're most vulnerable because we let our guard down. Safety isn't about the absence of obvious danger. It's about the presence of constant vigilance. Every workplace has its risks. Whether you're operating heavy machinery, working in an office, or doing tasks that seem completely routine, the difference between a normal day and a life-changing incident can literally be 1 second of divided attention. One small environmental change, or one moment of complacency. The next time you're at work and something feels routine and safe, remember David's story. Take that extra second to look ahead. Maintain your focus. Follow the protocols, because when it comes to safety, there's no such thing as being too careful. Your job might look safe, but safety is something we create through our choices, our attention, and our commitment to doing things right every single time. Don't let 1 second change everything. Stay alert, stay safe, and remember that the most dangerous assumption we can make is that danger doesn't exist. Thank you for watching, and please share this message with anyone who needs to hear it. Together, we can create safer workplaces for everyone.